to build you a picture of how we got started, if you're a public administrator, you sort of you have to have a problem. I've actually got a degree in public administration, and you see that why this is so exciting to me is that it's kind of like a public administration 101 as we got the ball rolling with this. So after Katrina, Alabama was one of the affected states, and my governor said we were able to fly the coastline in a plane and take pictures of our coast so that we could show him how we were affected post-storm. He looked at it and he goes, all right, that's really good. What did the coast look like before the storm? I don't know. Let's go find the imagery, and we'll be able to measure the damage by showing you what it looked like before. And lo and behold, we couldn't get our hands on the imagery. We didn't know where it existed, who had it. We were looking for it. So after about 2 or 3 days, he said, time out, this is not good enough. We can do better than this. Because I know that I've got agencies in Alabama with planes that are flying, taking pictures all the time for revenue, transportation, economic development. Every county is spending millions of dollars flying data for the revenue commissioner. So I know we're spending a lot of money on this. Now you're telling me we have a natural disaster, and when I need to see the imagery, I can't get my hands on it? We can do better than this. So there were a number of his cabinet members sitting around the table. I didn't duck fast enough. So I got the nod. He said, hey Jim, go figure out a way to determine what imagery we have right now. I got to know what we have right now before we can even look to building a plan for the future. I didn't know where to start. Didn't have a clue. So I turned to my 200 IQ rocket scientist, Norvin, and said, Norvin, the boss just dumped a problem on me. I got to find a solution. Norvin used his 200 IQ to turn to Chris to say, we got a problem, let's help get our arms around it. So what Norvin and Chris set out to do was look within classified programs of DoD, look in other governmental agencies to see what existed. And then they went into the private sector and started looking at different corporations and what they did, what they have. And we went through a pretty grueling vetting process with both government and the private sector, and we settled on Google. We bought a Google Earth Enterprise license for the state of Alabama. They were ready to go, they were scalable, they had products, they had all sorts of tools on board that we had to pay for. So now the challenge for us was, all right, now we've got to go start collecting imagery. And what we determined very quickly was the best imagery in Alabama was in either state agencies or specifically county revenue departments, because they fly, and that's how you get your tax assessment every year. They will fly and take a picture of your house, reassess it, and that's what you pay your taxes off of. So the high payoff target for the revenue folks to have good imagery. So we go to the revenue folks and say, look, I'm the Homeland Security Director. I'd like your imagery. I'm not giving you my imagery. We paid $1 billion for this. Why should I give it to you? They don't want to give it to anybody because they assume that you have some sort of financial gain after they spent this money. So they don't want to give it to us. So how are we going to solve this problem? Well, Chris and Norvin are playing with the data, playing with imagery, and they realize that we went with Google. Not only do you have the imagery, but there's so much more that you can do with it. And what I'm talking about is layering and tailoring information on top of the data.